always got to be so damn extra. I will never understand why. I never want to get why you got to be so extra all the time. Yeah, we're about to. She's satisfied. Like she working.
I need a laugh, man.
The last good one I got. She's not satisfied unless she's on it.
I needed a laugh for today. I am connected to a network. Like, what are we talking about?
Where are you? Yeah, because you was talking to the table.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Social Flex. We are your Social Flex host and guides. Today, we will be talking codependent relationships and what they mean to you. I am Sierra Tompkins. I am one of your Social Flex host and guides.
You said that already.
I did. Damn.
You didn't say your name, but you definitely announced as a host and a guide. Did that. That was done.
I am 42 and I am single. Co-host with the most.
I am Carlisa Turner. I am 42 years old and I am open to dating. Yes.
So, we have this is the third episode to the end of the series for this season, and we are going to be talking codependent relationships and what that means to you. There's a lot of things that come in with codependency within relationships that sometimes we're not aware that they're codependent behaviors, and after reading and really studying what it is and what it means, definitely have been in a codependent relationship or two. So it is, what is a codependent relationship? In a codependent relationship.
You gonna make me do it.
What'd I do?
Wait a minute.
My fault.
Jesus.
In a codependent relationship, one partner does much of the emotional carrying of the relationship and is more prone to losing themselves, while the other avoids taking more responsibility for the emotional work of the relationship. In healthy relationships, these partners are able to communicate, compromise, and negotiate needs and express their feelings. However, codependency can unveil unhealthy attachment styles as... Did I say the right word?
No, you did not.
What is it? Reveal. God dang. Reveal unhealthy attachment styles as well as leave one or both partners prone to unhealthy emotional coping mechanisms. So with reading that, it was really just taking a look into the different relationships that I have been in and really asking myself, were they codependent relationships? Were they relationships where one, either myself or the other person really depended on that relationship as a mold and as a survival type thing? I'm gonna go to the next slide. Signs you are codependent in relationships. So it's, you need the other person to be around you all the time, and you don't plan time for yourself. When you're apart, you feel anxious, worried, or lost. You don't have your own hobbies or activities outside the relationship. Your happiness depends on your partner. You feel rejected when they leave you to hang out with their friends. You struggle with having your own identity and rely on your partner often. And you base your self-worth off of how successful your relationship is going. So again, and I don't know if it's because, like, sometimes when you start off in relationships young, you get that kind of dependency on the other person because you're kind of growing into the relationship with them. But like I said, when I was reading through this, I found a lot of things resonated within me when it came to codependency. Next slide, please.
This one?
Yep. We're going to discuss, are you in a codependent relationship? Are you in a codependent relationship? When two people have a very close relationship, it is natural and mentally healthy to depend on each other for certain things. However, if one of you loses sight of who you are in order to please only the other person, the relationship can become very unhealthy. One of the most troubling relationship elements is codependency. The working definition of codependency. Codependency is defined as an unhealthy relationship where partners are overly reliant on the other one. As a result, a dysfunctional pattern of living and problem solving develops between the two. Questions to ponder on. Answer these questions to examine whether you might be involved in a codependent relationship. The first one is, are you afraid to express genuine feelings to your partner? If you notice you're often holding in your feelings for fear of how your partner might react, that is a sign the relationship is not as healthy as it could be. Number two, if you do express feelings honestly, do you feel guilty? Perhaps you think you shouldn't have said anything. It just makes matters worse after you're open with your partner. And number three is much of your day is taken up by trying to do everything for your partner. If you're completing numerous tasks for your loved one that could be easily done. So those are what it's stating are signs that you could be in a codependent relationship. So I want to hop into a question with that. And if you are online watching the show, if you want to chime in, have any questions, want to make any comments, feel free to do so. To the people here in the studio, co-host, you feel like at any point you were in a codependent relationship?
No.
Damn.
Answer me a question. I did it. Nope.
Damn.
Absolutely not.
What about you, Mr. Corey?
I don't think. No, I don't think so.
I was like, if you ever listen to Tory talk,
Yeah, like
you're a good and full way. He ain't
I mean, I was watching the whole thing on here. Actually, I got.
Corey ain't even know that. He didn't even give a fuck until he met his wife. He was like, oh, now I care.
Yeah, nah,
I care now. I didn't give a.
I was existing. But no, I don't think I ever like needed a place to stay and just.
Oh, you wasn't a
He
hobo.
wasn't a
He wasn't a homosexual.
It was like I always kind of had my own, and that was something I was taught. That if you always had your own, and someone would kick you out.
Yeah,
My mama always said
That's it.
GYOS. Get your own shit. And don't you get dependent on nobody.
That's real.
We're gonna hit this one next. I mean, like I could honestly say, like this resonates with me. I was definitely in a codependent relationship. So
You didn't have like your own identity while you was with that person?
no.
Shit.
Outside of being basically a wife and a mother, I didn't like. That's what I was. I was a wife and a mother.
Yeah, that was. What?
Whenever you ready. 10 clear signs of a codependent relationship. You feel responsible for your partner's actions. You always seek your partner's approval. You continue the relationship despite your partner's prior misbehavior. You're anxious and check on your partner every hour. You don't like when they leave the house without you. You deny even when you go through relationship stagnation. You experience anxiety when around your partner. You sacrifice your happiness to make your partner happy. Terms and conditions strain your relationship, and you usually date people that require help.
Oh, Lord. Some of that, I don't mean, it necessarily identifies codependency, but I mean, I guess I see where they tried to go with that. And I say that because when I was married, we enjoyed each other's time, conversation, things like that. So there was a period in our relationship where we was on the phone all day long. Like if he wasn't home, we was on FaceTime the whole fucking day until his ass pulled back either in front of the house or until we met somewhere and then we were together. You know what I'm saying? But not necessarily because we were codependent on each other. We were literally best friends. Like we enjoyed the time, the conversation. Furthermore, we would want each other to bear witness to the tomfoolery of the day. Like, do you hear this shit? Like, see what I'm saying? Like, do you see what I mean?
Well, I think codependent is heavy on one side.
I was gonna say, because at the end of the day, you go your way, I go mine. We meet up later, like that, lot of that. Like I didn't need, you know what I'm saying, to be in his space. I liked it, but I didn't need it.
Yeah, and I think like
I could definitely go on a girls trip and be like, hey, no.
I guess it also depends on the partner too. If your partner is okay with you having your own identity. Sometimes a lot of codependency comes with the partner not wanting you to coexist without them.
That's crazy. I'd be looking at you like, oh, oh baby, you'll be okay. Oh, I'll see you later. See ya. Not doing it.
Like, and that's like I said, that's it. Like, it's a real thing. Like, I've seen, and this resonates with me. I've seen codependent relationships. There's also, I didn't see it when I was reading over the signs, but there's also trauma bonding. That tends to be a codependent situation as well. Next slide. Signs of codependent relationships. There's lack of genuine and honest communication. You need approval from your partner. Self-care becomes selfish. You feel the need to save them from themselves. You have a hard time making your own decisions. You feel like you can't say no. You have abandonment issues. You have trouble being alone. You feel lost when you're not with the other person. You have low self-esteem. You often cancel plans with others to be with them. You can't set boundaries. You feel trapped in a relationship. You feel anxious when you don't hear from them. And you have a history of codependent or abusive relationships. Like I said, there's a couple things, like, when I was reading this, I could resonate with. Like, the thing was, like, you often cancel plans to be with them. That was something that I did a lot. Like, and then I also would not do things that they couldn't be involved in. For instance, if they had to work and somebody asked me, like, okay, we gonna go, like, family, we gonna go see this play. Like, you don't gotta pay for nothing. Why don't you come? And having that conversation, just the fact that they couldn't attend was like an issue. So I would just back off.
I'm going to this play with Keisha now.
Well, again, it's
You're gonna be at work, so you ain't gonna miss me.
It's to keep the arguing at a minimum. Like that's one thing you don't want to. Well, especially me. Like I don't feel like doing that. Like I don't want to argue with you.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a shame that to have to put your whole entire existence on hold because another person can't, you know what I'm saying, function in reality. Like that's crazy. Like absolutely not. You about to be mad every day for the rest of your life. You about to be mad.
Yeah, it's one of those things though. It's like, what's the difference between? I don't know, man. That's heavy. I don't even really got anything for it though. That's just heavy. That's heavy. I mean, cause when you say that, I don't understand the thought of it.
Well, again, I think, and I think it's more deep rooted. I think like when you're dealing with people that have like, they're afraid of the abandonment for some reason or another, whether it's, you know, childhood trauma or whatever. They just want you in that space, whatever space that they have you in. That's where they're not setting boundaries come into play. So when you start setting boundaries, it's like, you about to do what? With who? Where? So it's, with setting boundaries, it's like a 360 in a relationship, because now it's like, what are you setting boundaries for? You ain't had that before.
I think the only time
Because I can't take it no more. Like, this is too fucking much.
The only time
I need to
caught
breathe,
up
honey.
in any of that stuff, and like caught up in, I think it was the trauma
I'm
bonding.
dying.
I had an ex who she was out there. She was out there.
Not for the street. What you about to say for the streets?
It's true. That's how she rolled. That's how she rolled. And that's just, I mean, you know, she was just one of those people that just couldn't be with one person but act like she could. She was just out there doing her thing, and I had no idea what's happening. And
She was doing that blindly. That's shady.
When I was like, okay, this is a thing now, and like I got evidence, we still stayed together, and I couldn't handle that. Like I couldn't trust her to just go down the street without me thinking that she's doing something wild. I was
I had a friend like that, but she was right to feel that way, because she had slipped down to the bodega and she's in the chip aisle and she can hear in the juice aisle her lady. You know what I'm saying? Shooting the move with the axe. Like, what is happening? So, like, no, I mean, I can understand that.
It was tough.
That's deep.
So it felt like I wanted to be around her just to make sure that didn't happen. And it was like the only relationship we had. You know what I'm saying? So everything you
So
knew
you did have a little codependent situation.
Yeah, so I felt like that's I mean, the closest I can get to that what y'all were explaining was that. Like, it was like, and then I realized, like, this is not how I want to do this. And that actually was something that stuck with me in a few other relationships where I couldn't even shake it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, this is really a problem. I had to really go and talk to some people about this. Like, you know, what's going on? Why can't I trust? Like, when you say you're going to call me back, oh, what are you doing? What do you mean you got to call me back? You know what I'm saying?
Dang, she gotta go to the bathroom, Corey.
See, and that's something that I had to grow into too.
It took a while to shake.
Yeah, we're getting back into like dating and talking to men. I actually, you know, when you get into those relationships, you're like, I'll call you back. My mom calling her. Mm-hmm. Somebody was like, I don't care if your mom calling. You said you was gonna call me back. Like, you don't gotta explain that to me. Like, you don't gotta tell me who you talking to. Like, the trust is there until you break it. So I took that with like a lot of respect, because again, I'm used to being like, I gotta call you back, my mom calling, and then having to like really explain, like, no, like for real, it's my mom, or you know what I'm saying?
I don't do all that. I mean, me with somebody else. Like, I'm not. But I think why is because I always have had the privilege, and I'm gonna say the privilege, to always have so much going to fuck on. Like, as a youth, busy as fuck. And then I always had more than most of the people around me. Like, I had a car at 15. Okay. I had a place at 17. Like, well, I was a fool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Mm-hmm. You gonna do what? I'm gonna be weird? Catch me. That's what you do. Catch me. See if you can do that. See if you can catch me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then the guys from the youth that I was dating were older. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So probably could catch me, but you won't. And then as an adult, once I had children, my kids been involved in every fucking thing under the sun. Right. Since they could walk and talk. So I'm always either doing something with them. And then I was in college, and then I was working 957 jobs. I don't have time to be worrying about what you doing. And if I find out, we already know how I'm handling that. So let's.
But see see when you were saying you were older, like the people you were interested in were older. She was older. Like I don't even want to say her age, but I was 16 and she was. You know, she
need to be in jail. Jail immediately.
For real, I'm serious. Like 2 years. Like it was like that's we had I had places. You know, what I mean, I was wilding, but also like you get with somebody older, you think they know better, you think they're gonna do better.
You know, she chose you. She saw you coming slick.
Messed me up young. So it was like I had to go out and.
So your little ass coming, so I'm gonna have him at the house.
But that's what
Ain't gonna be none the wiser.
I think when we look at codependent relationships, like that's what we have to look out for. We have to look out like in those stages of talking and really getting to know somebody. Like, what are their mannerisms? Is this going to be something where it ends up being a codependent relationship, or is it going to be dependent?
So how would you navigate that? New to dating.
Well,
how would you navigate that? Like,
so for me, I really base it on like the talking stage. Like, if you really have to be calling me and texting me all day, that means that you might have some codependent behaviors.
Even if they just like talking to you.
Yeah, even if they just like talking to you.
Yeah,
because what can you talk about that much? Like,
seriously, you have literally sat in a room with me having a conversation with somebody else till 7 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, but that's
the sun met us the next day.
So what I'm saying by that is like once you're in something with somebody for we'll say 6 months or a year, is what is happening so new in y'all's life that y'all don't already know about?
It could be anything.
Where you
Every
have
day
to
is a new
hold
day.
a new conversation for more than a couple hours a day.
Every day is a new day.
Yeah, I mean, it was shit. I gotta say this. I could be stuck. I could be stuck in the house with my wife for 2 years because of COVID, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like so, like we literally can talk forever and like
Her
find something new. Actually, we'll discover something together to talk about. Like, you know, from shows to everything else. Like it's a thing. So it's. I don't think that's what it is.
So with COVID, I feel like COVID also forced us to be in a space with whoever we was in a space with. Yeah. So you had to come up with new conversations. You had to come up with new things. Yeah. Like you really had to.
No, the fuck you did.
Be.
Yeah.
You go downstairs. I'm gonna stay up here. Yeah. Slip swap. Yeah. There's a lot of people that was on opposite ends of the house. Some people was working. Yeah. So they had to be on opposite ends of the house. There's people that, you know, it's been days not talking to each other until it was like bedtime. I know some of those people, you know what I'm saying, during COVID that was like, I'm like, well, you know, what's Phil doing? I don't fucking know. I ain't seen Phil since 7 o'clock this fucking morning. Hold on. I don't even know if he's still in his fucking house. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know people who went this real shit, who went through that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you wasn't forced to have to interact any more than you already did if you didn't want to. That was a choice to make. Now, but what it did force you to do was figure out if you, in fact, really liked that person that you was around.
Real talk. There's a lot of marriages that happened because of COVID, a lot of divorces.
You know what I'm saying? It forced you to realize if you really liked that motherfucker.
And that's what I realized. It's like we passed the test. We passed the COVID test.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We came out, you know what I mean, straight. Which was amazing. It actually got us closer. But it was like, yeah, I could, but I wanted to step back for 1 second though. That codependent thing, like I was talking about the older woman, I feel like there's some people that, maybe that's trauma bonding or whatever, but there's some people that really enjoy that, right? And there's some people that try to find someone whose mind is maybe not as developed, or somebody who's not somebody who thinks for themselves. Like I think they do target.
That's why I said Shorty saw you coming for sure.
Oh, for sure.
She had you pictured.
I thought I had it all figured out.
She had you in them crosshairs, baby. Yeah, she saw you.
She is like she should be in jail.
Immediately lock her up.
Sure. Like I got a whole story I can't even tell on camera, but I'll tell you all about that one.
Lock her away.
It wasn't like it was funny. That was you know, I was living, I was there, I was in there. You know, 3 jobs, whatever. I was all day, it was all types of stuff. But anyway, I was targeted. targeted.
Let's push on the line,
Right.
really, man.
But that's what we people do. You know what I'm saying? I feel
Yeah.
like, when they try to fight. If you're in a relationship to get over on somebody, or because you feel like you can control them, then you for real weak. Like, I feel like you ain't even looking for a real relationship. You just looking for somebody to agree with you.
I would agree with
Well,
that.
yeah,
Because
I do too. Yeah.
I was in a relationship, but you can't control me, so it turned to abuse.
Right.
If you can't, you gonna do it because I said I did it because this mind game wasn't working. I'm gonna beat the fuck out you. And that I just had that conversation yesterday with somebody because you allow somebody to slander you for so long, you don't care enough, you know what I'm saying, to fight back because it doesn't serve you. Right. But what I'm not going to allow is you to still be slandering me and you're not even alive to do it like in depth. So I literally had a conversation yesterday with someone and they were like, because he was older, he had to do that. I'm like, to do what? Like, I was so confused by where his point was. And I'm like, wait, because I left him? I was like, I was supposed to leave. Yeah. Like, he was beating me, like, and I ain't like no cute little sloppy shit. Like, he was beating the fuck, like, my shoulder is still broke to this day. That nigga was trying to stab my teeth out with a fork. He threw it on the flight of stairs, burnt me with chicken grease. Like, he was trying to murder me on a regular basis. Like, it was time to go. I said, now, am I dirty for leaving him when he went to jail? No, I'm not. That was my escape route. God was like, run, and I ran. Like, what you mean? I'm not coming back. I don't need none of this shit.
Right,
I built it once, I built it again. Like, what are you talking about? So, like, you know what I mean? But that was who, like, I couldn't do shit. I'd be in the house all day. He'd still come in like, you was cheating. Woo, nigga. The ghost, like the dog, like, woo. How did I smuggle him in here?
Right.
Your mom lived right there. She can see me, see her, see me. So how did I get them past her nosy ass? Like, you don't make no sense. So I've never been a cut, but I probably could have been if I was, if I was weak enough to allow myself to be beat into submission.
Right.
Probably. But I was more afraid of my parents than I ever been afraid
of anybody else.
of a other motherfucker.
Just letting them know what the hell, like, that you accepting that. Like, I could, like,
I was way more afraid of if my mom needed me to do something, let me be clear, I'm more afraid of my father than I'm afraid of anyone else on this planet. Because to upset her was to upset him. And that was a line I never wanted to cross.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how most motherfuckers lost. Like, 'cause my mom said do something, she got it. Because if I didn't, now she's whining at him, and now I got to deal with that, and I don't want to deal with that. So, you know what I'm saying? Nah. And I guess that taught me how to be able to stand on my own 2 feet, because I'm not afraid of whatever your consequence is.
Right.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Go to the next slide. Thank you. So we're going to be talking break the patterns of codependent relationships. Instead of denying your own needs, you try to prioritize self-care. Instead of compulsively trying to fix or take care of others, you let others make their own choices. Instead of seeking approval from others, you value yourself. Instead of judging and criticizing yourself, you practice self-compassion, and instead of people-pleasing, you develop a stronger sense of self. So I think, like, one of the things on this that I really had a problem with was trying to fix or take care of others. And I had to realize, like, at some point, just like I was told when I was like 16, at some point your choices are going to be your failures or your successes. So it's really just letting people figure out their own failures and successes instead of trying to make sure they succeed. Like, sometimes you got to fall. So
I definitely still suffer with that. I ain't gonna say I still suffer with that. It was something that I suffered with for a good bit of time. Trying to fix people. You can't fix not a goddamn person, man. That's just not how it works. And if you do, it ain't gonna be sustainable because you're doing all the work for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta let people do what they do. So I never got with I can't say I got with a woman thinking I could fix her. I just knew that was if that's what you were talking, I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but that's what kind of what I got. Like I never wanted to get with somebody thinking I can fix them. Like I didn't want to be with them if that was the case. It was more so like, I feel like we got something here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it was just, I never felt sorry for somebody, that's why I wanted to be with them.
Well,
You know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know
I mean,
if
I go on it like I ain't never hopped into no relationship because I feel sorry for somebody, but like that's the wild stuff. But I feel like as relationships evolve and you grow into them, you like if they don't see it, you kind of see like, hey, this person kind of taking advantage of you. Like, yeah, they might be family, but they kind of doing some trickery to you. So it's like now, as that person, it's like they pointed that out. Now I feel goofy, and we're gonna let this person keep doing what they're doing, and we're gonna start treating my family shit. You know what I mean? So, I think that kind of, again, this isn't like not just intimate or sex. This is like relationships in general, like being codependent in relationships in general. And sometimes, even though they're really not supposed to. Family could leak into a romantic relationship based on upbringing.
Shh. You got magic business over here. Don't do that. Hey. I live here, you don't.
it's a conversation that's happened, huh?
Let's not. I don't know. My family know better. There's certain lines that you just, with me personally, Carlisa, you can't cross. And my relationship is definitely one of them. Like, I'm not going to overstep into your relationship.
Right.
Please, Jesus. Do not overstep your boundaries. Whatever your opinion is, keep it to your fucking self.
And you talk about family.
I don't give a fuck who it is. My
Everybody.
can't say nothing about who I'm with because is that what we doing?
No,
You got something to say? Is that what we doing?
I mean,
Because what I told y'all,
I
told y'all, we're good for the goods.
No, but I'm just saying, what if you got a close friend that sees something that you don't see? It'd be hard to.
That's different, but you're gonna have to watch how you
present it.
You can't come to me like, oh, Rodney ain't shit, bitch. Because first of all, we can talk about Marcus. We can talk about Marcus right now. Because you best believe I know more about Marcus than you want me to know, and not because you told me. Because I be, you know what I'm saying? I know people that know people that know people. You hard pressed to have somebody in my space that I don't know, or I don't know who know them that told me they whole rundown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have people around me right now whose spouses do them dirty, and I'm like, don't you do it?
Yeah.
Don't you do it? You watch how you word it. You watch how you bring it to me. I'm not saying you can't tell me, but you be tactical in how you approach it.
Right.
Because if I feel like you're trying to disrespect whatever his shortcoming or her shortcoming may be, if I feel like you're trying to be disrespectful, I'm going to answer with the same disrespect. Period. I'm going to keep.
Well, if it's your close friend and it's somebody that can actually come at you that way, they should know you.
Whoever, it could be a perfect stranger. Like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? I'm not sure, how you're going to receive this, but there's some things that been on my heart to say to you, and I just wanted to let you know. I'm not sure the magnitude of you and Charles's relationship.
Right.
However, I couldn't help but notice Charles spends an awful lot of time at Rhonda's house. You know what I'm saying? See how you approach that?
Yeah.
Like, girl, I see you fucking with Charles, and Charles is not shit because, you see, that's different.
That's a different, yeah.
Because what you talking about? Because now we can talk about Tyrone.
Yeah, I got it.
We can talk about Tyrone right now.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do? You want sling for sling? Because we can sling it right quick. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, nobody can do that because I wouldn't do that to you. If I know something about somebody you with, more than likely I'm going to mind my business. Because it's in my mind, my business, because I've been in a situation where I've been the bad guy for trying to look out. You understand what I'm saying? And no matter how I approached it, no matter what my intentions was, I instantly became the bad guy. And that, too many occasions. So more than likely, I'm a mind mine. I'm going to see that and not know it. I'm going to know and not know.
Yeah. I think that's also another reason why I don't even with my friends, I tend not to want to spend time with them and their significant other. Like, I like my homies to be with the homies, like, and kind of stay. No, seriously, I like to stay far away from that, because I've been in a situation as well where it's like, bro, that's your lady. I seen your lady out here in the airport with. You know what I'm saying? She ain't going to Boston. She going to Miami.
She going somewhere.
Yeah.
But she told you, bro. I see her.
But see, that was a conversation that somebody had with me young. They were like, if you found out that somebody else was in a relationship, in that relationship, like you seen, would you tell them? And I was like, well, ultimately no, because it ain't none of my business. But then they were like, well, what happens if they found out on the back end, like they found out what was going on and they found out that you knew all this time?
I'm going to straight up tell you, I wasn't going to be the one to bring that.
So it's like,
man.
That's why I don't like to get too close, because I am going to say something to my man.
But definitely.
Like my ladies, like my
but you also know who your peoples are. You know who you can tell that shit to, who you don't.
Because there ain't nobody else's.
Like my sister, I wouldn't tell her shit.
Oh, shit.
Because I feel in my heart of hearts that she spends her whole career spinning people for a living.
Oh, then she,
You know what I'm saying? So you're going to try to convince me that I somehow dreamt or don't quite know or I don't understand or it's something other than what the fuck I just witnessed it being.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So her, I probably wouldn't tell. And I probably beat the fuck out of her spouse though. Her spouse would have to catch these hands and she'd have to guess why we was rumbling. Facts on facts. You're gonna, especially if I'm a present and you trying to disrespect my sister, it's up. It's not even a conversation. But my brothers, definitely snitching. You're snitching, sis. I ain't telling them immediately. I need to holler at you, bro.
The situation I was talking about.
I'm snitching.
The situation I was talking about with that predator. That's what I'm gonna call her. She is though. But my homie was living in the crib as well. You know what I'm saying? He was upstairs. No, you know what I mean? The way his life was situated, either he's either in the trap or he had a place where he can actually go to school. You know what I'm saying? So we situated him over there. So I still to this day feel some type of way about this nigga, man.
Because you feel like he was up in you,
because
on the back end.
No. Actually, not them two, but just knowing what else was going on, and you failed to
bring it to me.
You see me working this, you see me doing this,
and you knew she was doing me wild, and you ain't even pull my coattails too.
You know, I'm waking you up, making sure I'm glazing one with you before we go to school or something. Like I'm taking. You ain't even telling you might want to come home at 2 instead of 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we supposed to have this. That I'm just going to tell you that messes up the relationship. Because still to this day, for some reason, I can't shake that. How can I have you around me like you ain't going to? You know what I'm saying?
Right. You
the snake. You the snake. Yeah.
You know, and I maybe at that time I was just too young. Where, no, it's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. Like I just feel that.
He definitely could have gave you a warning sound like, hey, listen. Instead of you coming home at 4, like you try to spin the block at 1:30.
Yeah.
Don't ask no questions. Just spin the block at 1:30. See what you see. See what you see.
I feel some type of way about somebody who's close to me who knows something that I would trust their opinions. I'm not going to just anybody. I
understand both sides. I understand why somebody might want to just mind their business because you just, again, like I said, sometimes you know who you dealing with. Like I said, my brothers, my 2 younger brothers, I'm snitching out for it.
Yeah.
I'm telling. I'm right because they know that I have no reason to give a fuck one way or the other.
Right.
So if I'm telling them, it's real. Mm-hmm. My younger sister, I probably could tell her too. Like, listen, hey.
Yeah.
Hey. This comes from a sense of
but again, I would have to be tactical in my approach to her because I would have to tread lightly in that approach, like hypothetically. Yeah. But my older sister, I don't believe for 1 second I could come to her with some information like that, and she take it and make the correct moves with it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like she would try to somehow spin me. You know what I'm saying? And then
you're trying to get some money out of you.
Not spin like try to get no money or nothing, but like try to make me feel like
manipulate the situation.
Like so you gonna try to talk to me about my hair screwing on off? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, or try to convince you that she already knows what's going on and she don't give a fuck. Like, no, stop.
Right.
like, cut it out.
I got you. But
Yeah.
this was all about the protection of the codependency, right? Like how did
Basically, how do you protect yourself from, like, if you're in one currently, know the sign, like, know what some of these signs could be and have the correct conversations about it.
Yeah.
Like for instance, when it was like, are you afraid to talk to your partner about certain things? Like, that was a situation where, like, some things I'd be like, man, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth the argument. It's not even worth the time. It's not even worth the energy. Or like it said, when you go to your partner and you tell them something and then you feel guilty afterwards. Like, damn, I shouldn't have said that shit. That's just putting fuel to the fire. Like, I should have just kept that one to me. So those are like signs that you possibly could be hitting in something that is codependency. But again, I feel like a lot of these like codependent relationships come from some type of trauma or just some type of bonding mechanism in general.
Yeah. Well, that's why I feel even with that trauma bonding, that came from what I would consider like a situation in my past. You know what I'm saying? Like that was it's a situation.
I always thought trauma bonding was something else. But go ahead, hit this slide, and I'll tell you what I thought trauma bonding was.
So, 10 tasks of codependent recovery. Start putting your own needs first. Number 2 is say what you mean without being mean. And I like that. I kind of like how that sounds.
Do you know how to say what you mean without being mean?
I'm working on it. It's tough, boy. I don't mean for the snake to come out. Like, I don't mean for it to be like, arr. Like, I don't
know why your hand be just a stiff. Like, who admit that?
You can't admit that you don't know it all. You don't have to give advice. Oh, I struggle with that.
I was gonna say that number 3 one too. Like,
I mean, I feel like that's everybody though. I feel like everybody in a sentiment feels like they know it all, whether they do or they don't.
you think?
Absolutely. Number 5, if you know how to stay on your side of the street, you don't always have to say yes. I've been working on that one this year. This one thing that this year is what I've been working on. You're not obsessed on what's not in your control. You don't care as much as what other people think.
I don't give a fuck.
And you can let go of what other people are doing.
I don't give a fuck about that either.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like the one that I struggle the most with, that I'm getting better with, is I don't always have to say yes. Definitely getting better with the being so much cheerleader and being like, yes, all sunshine, man, like I got you. Like, no, like I'm learning I gotta say no for me. Like I gotta.
That's what it is, and not saying no to you, but saying yes to me. You know what I mean? That's
And some people have a real issue with you saying yes to you. Like it really, like.
I had to make that transition myself in my life. That was a tough one. That 2-letter word be hard to say sometimes. And I didn't know why, but it was just that people pleasing thing.
Definitely, I wanted people to like me, like, so bad. It's like, get this reputation for being a bitch or being crazy. And I'm like, oh, not me. I'm so nice.
Yeah.
Love me. Then I stopped caring. Like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, it's way too much. It's way
I'm a
too
bitch.
exhausting. Like, I ain't who I am.
Mean as a snake, boy. Fuck it.
That's first.
Rawr.
It's necessary, man. I just think in anything, until it's not about what you could say yes to. Even like in business, it's not about what you could say yes to. It's when you can start saying no to shit.
Nah, dog, I started putting myself in crazy situations for people. Like, why you, like, driving motherfuckers to Ohio, and I don't got no gas in my car, and I'm getting out like, alright, I don't give a fuck if I'm gonna make it home. Or these fumes, I just drove this hour and a half on. Word, that's how it is.
They didn't even go back.
Nah.
Once you drop them off, like,
Nah.
yeah, been there, man.
Or got so used to me doing shit like that, but like, yo, can you run me? And I'm like, no, click. Bitch, first of all.
Right.
Did you just hang up on me? Yes.
This is where I realized, even with those situations where I realized it's not that, like, I used to think you ain't got to be heartless, you just got to use your heart less in certain situations, right? Like, I think you just be like, you had this like I got a big heart, so sometimes a lot of times you used to get the shitty end of the stick.
I got a big heart for motherfuckers I care about.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about you.
Then I don't. But that was something. I had to realize.
That's
You can't
something I
love
struggle.
you can't love everybody
I
the
struggle
same.
with that a lot. I struggle with.
There is a hand, not even a handful. There's a
I think me is trying to see the best out of anybody who I come in contact with.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I just
that's-
see Boosie say something about that. You can't. The way you love somebody ain't gonna you can't expect the way you feel out of other people.
No, right. I had somebody look me, a
That's
friend look me in my face and tell me we was going back and forth one time. I was mad at her because I needed her to do something and she wouldn't do it. But I was like, I wouldn't do you like that. She looked at me. She's like, I'm not gonna argue with you about the fact that you're gonna be a better friend to me than I'm ever gonna be to you. Straight ass face. I said, woo. Turning point. 'Cause wow.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
That's heavy. That's
Right.
heavy.
Wow.
You can't
Like,
expect
oh.
yourself out of
I
everybody.
said,
And that's what it is. Like you really
Yeah.
can't expect yourself out of anybody else. And I feel also like there's a reason in the season. So everybody who you come in contact with, there's a reason in the season why you come in contact with them, and it might be to reveal something to you. It might be to get you to repress some things that you've been doing. So,
teach you not to be so
The
fucking
remedy I
defiant.
found
Right.
I can tell you not to
that.
do some shit.
I found the remedy for that, so you don't have to really adjust too much of how you truly are, because that's just truly who you are. Sometimes you just can't shake that. Like some people don't got it, some people do, and I think it's a gift, really.
Facts. I love helping people,
Yeah, I do.
but
too.
now I love helping people
help themselves.
that not necessarily, not even that. Like
Yeah.
my brother believed that everybody should own their own business. Me, I'm getting these knockdown dragouts all the time. I'm like, everybody can't be the owner. Somebody have to be the employee, and
Right.
I personally don't mind being the employee. I don't mind being the person that help you get to where you want to succeed. I'm happier when I'm helping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Running my own business is cool, but I'm not as happy when I'm doing it for me as I am when I'm doing it for someone else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I can do this shit for myself, but if you ask me to do it, I'd be way happier doing it to get you to where you trying to go and trying to propel me to where I'm trying to go. But what I had to do was dial that back. Like, not everybody can just come to me like, yo, there was a time anybody. I'd be like, oh, yeah, sure.
I got you,
Nah,
I got
fuck, no. Like, oh, yeah,
But that's the thing. So that's what I got. That's what I got right there. Though it's like, this is who I am in general. So if I'm gonna do this, when I do it for somebody who I feel like doesn't appreciate it, I always feel like shit. But when you do it for somebody who actually is like that really appreciates what you're doing, really understands what you're giving and how and what you're doing for them, you feel like $1 million because like they see your value, they know the value you're giving for them, and they're grateful for it. And that's like you expect everybody to feel that way, feel like that every time. It's never the majority of the time it's not. And what I would do is I would just make sure I surround myself around people that appreciate the value that I'm bringing to the table. And it makes me be able to do it more because I felt like, oh, I'm just doing this wrong. You're just a good person. You can't help that. You're a good person. It's gonna be hard. Yeah. It's gonna be harder to shake it, and it's gonna be more exhausting to shake it than to just live.
But sometimes it's hard for other people to see the value in you. Sometimes
that's real.
Like it's very hard. Like it's very hard for other people to see the value in you
if they ain't looking.
I decided a long time ago that I'm not going to alter who I am as an answer to how I feel others have treated me. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm a good person because I'm a good person. You know what I'm saying? I'm nice because I'm nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm fun because I'm fun. If you think I'm a bitch, good.
Right.
You understand? Great.
Yeah.
But if you take the time to sit down and have a conversation with me and truly get to know me, I'm not mean. I'm not bitchy at all. I'm quite freaking cool. I'm pretty damn fucking amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm the shit. I'm a vibe. So, but you understand what I'm saying? But that's cool. I'm okay with the people who take the time to get to know and understand that. And I'm also okay with the people who believe what they believe. Believe what you want, please.
Yeah. Well, I think it's
so whatever version make you comfortable.
Yeah, most people take the path of less resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't even want to put in the work. Like you were saying, like what you were saying. Some people just don't They just don't want to put in the work. It's harder to be a good person than it is a bad person. It's hard,
Right.
and
It is.
and it's even harder to recognize it than not recognize it. It's easier not to recognize it. And a lot of people just take that path. They don't care. They just don't care. And it just. I used to think I was the problem, but I realized like no.
No, it's not. What I learned too is you gotta there are really people that are vultures. Like you gotta watch the vultures. Like the people that see your potential and see what you could do, and they want to suck that out of you. You know what I mean? Like they want to be dependent on those features. Like I'ma just be with this person, or I'm gonna be friends with this person because I know that, like, I don't see the value in them, but I know they could do this, and it's going to benefit me that they could do this.
Yeah, that's
Like,
weak. You know what I mean?
I mean, but there are people like that.
To me, yeah, you're right. I used to not think of it like that, but now when I look back on it, I was like, oh, y'all just weak. That's all it is. And you but they know how to identify opportunity. I give them that. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean it's the right way to approach it, man. Most people just don't want to work.
I don't like people enough to be using them.
Damn.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't like people enough to be using them. To use you, I have to tolerate you. And if that's where you are in my life, there's a high probability I don't like you at all. And I can't do it. I cannot.
You can't. It's like
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't. Like I can't talk to you.
Yeah.
My face is going to wear my disdain for you every time we're talking. Like,
Yeah. Ooh, that's heavy. The way you just, I just felt.
I
I felt that. Like,
I'm not. I don't have the patience or the wherewithal. Like, I got a mean poker face, but not for intolerance. Like, if I don't like you, like I don't like you, and there's nothing that nobody, everybody around me, like, Carlisa, stop. Like, fix your face, fix your face, fix your face, fix your face.
Because there was a
Please stop. Am I lying?
alleged incident. I was like, please don't do this here. Please,
I've seen that in the
please
video.
don't do this here.
There was that-
I can't do it. Like, I can't. I can't turn it
Can we
off.
just get through this, please, please?
You saw me see her in the
that's what I'm
episode.
saying. I said-
I had to turn my body away from this person because I can't.
I thought it was going down. I ain't gonna lie.
He could have had $1 billion,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't have given a fuck
Yeah.
because I can't. If I can't,
Yeah.
like
So
I can't do it.
I mean, we talking about codependency, and I don't know, man. I've dealt with that, and I know that's something you dealt with, see. But how are you navigating out of that? What's that mindset?
Well, first, millions and millions of sessions of counseling. I did counseling for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
And I did counseling when we were together. I did counseling.
You put the work in.
I had to put the work in or lose your mind,
Right.
because you're not you're not you.
Right.
Like you're this version of what everybody else wants you to be. You're not you. So one of the things that because I used to always want to know. I used to be that person. Like I want to know. Like I want to know. And I sat in counseling once, and my counselor was like, "What do you get out of knowing?" And I really had to think about it. And then she spun it. She was like, "If you don't know, you don't have to be involved. You take that responsibility away from you." So I started being like, I want to know. Take that over there. Because now I'm responsible. Now whatever the outcome is, I played a part in that because I know about it. And I don't want that responsibility. The other thing that I had to do with the codependency is start setting boundaries. Like, I don't like how this feels to me. So this is the boundary that I'm going to set. And if you can't respect that boundary, we're going to have to reevaluate some things.
Right. And it's one thing to set the boundaries, another thing to keep the boundary there.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think that's where the work really comes in. It's one thing to say it once, but to really stand on it, right? So how do you strengthen that? Because I know that's something that you don't usually get on the first try. You know what I mean? What's that story like?
Up until recently, even recently,
Yeah.
I've had an issue with boundaries because again, I don't ever want anyone to feel by me that I'm not trying to help them. Like you said,
Right.
Heart.
Yeah. You ain't gotta be heartless.
You got the heartless. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like I have to set this boundary and be heartless, not heartless. Like, I have to show that, like, I fucks with you still, but I'm not going to go past my boundary.
Yeah, it's wild, man, because a lot of the times it's an emotional situation and you got to take the emotion out of it. And that's why I said use the heart less, right? And you actually make an actual
Good decision, yeah.
a logical decision. And shit starts to become black and white. 1 + 1 = 2 type thing. And you got to mix it. It's really like using your emotions as an indicator of, just an indicator, not a decision maker type thing, man. And it's tough, man. It's a balance, man. And there's no one way. There's maybe more than one way to do it. I don't know, but it's just like that. That was the biggest thing. It's like we get into these relationships and everything's emotions. It's emotion, and then you got to start using actual logic. And we let our emotions kind of drive us to this destination. But to go to the next spot, we gotta start being logical.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels good, but how to keep it good, we gotta be good.
Because when I think of,
it's wild, man.
like,
It's wild, the whole thing.
the situations that put me in the most turmoil, I think of those, and a lot of those decisions were based off of emotion, not really sitting down and being logical about them.
It's every time.
Because my logical decision in a lot of these situations is make it make sense.
Yeah.
Like, is this really, like, this is what's going on in this situation now? If we do this, does that make sense? And a lot of times, I'll use an example with, and this is still ongoing, with C. She's like, well, I want a car. I can get you a car. And had I been in previous situations and been dealing with previous emotions, you probably would have a car by now, and I would be in a more sustained situation than I'm in now. But right now, my logic is you need to get a license first.
I mean, damn, that's the law as well. You know,
it's the law, but like,
you don't have to have a license to own a car. You just have to. You don't necessarily have to have a license
to drive it.
You don't
Well, I mean,
you don't necessarily.
I mean, it's going to be a financial
It'll be
burden.
less. It'll be less of a no, not necessarily. If you, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, please don't.
I'm not gonna.
do it.
Please don't.
Don't drop them gems.
Please don't.
Don't technically need a driver's license unless you're going to be a commercial operator. But it's the headache. It's not worth the headache. That's what I tell people. I know people that do it, like, I'm not a traveler. Right, yes, okay. But the headache is unnecessary.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to have the money to fight that out.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because you're going to need it. Like, they're going to give you a ticket.
Right.
They're probably going to tow your car because they're going to abide by this custom system.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're right. You don't have enough power to be that right. So you're going to have money to be that right.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you got the money to fight it out and then sue and then get the money from over there and then keep doubling up, tripling up, quadrupling up, go for it.
But that's it.
But do you technically need a driver's license to buy a car? No. Do you technically need a driver's license to drive a car? No.
Yeah.
It would be advisable.
And that's
You
what I'm
need
saying.
car insurance? No.
No.
I wouldn't recommend not
Not
having
having
it.
it. Yeah.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. So when I say that, it's more of a sentiment. It's like, I know the responsibility of that falls back on me. Do I want that responsibility? Do I want the responsibility if you're driving without a license on a car that I purchased and you get a ticket? Now it's like, well, I led to that. Instead of standing my ground and setting that boundary and being like, nah, buddy.
No, now you learned your lesson, baby. I hope you're going to pay that.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
know somebody that'll never see their driver's license, never. Ever. And they don't give a fuck, they just gonna keep driving.
Yeah, I got a few of those on my phone.
But they will never legally, ever.
I have a driver's license, yeah.
Like, you just, I mean, unless they hit the Powerball. They hit the Powerball in my
Yeah, everything's
Sit
off.
that out,
Yeah.
sit that year 5, you know, you be good.
You be figuring out. You got enough money to just, you got a fucking button right there. Like, now.
Yeah.
That's
We got 3 slides left, so we'll go ahead and get through these. 7 reasons it's hard to end a codependent relationship. Number 1, you rely on others to make you feel worthwhile and valid. Codependent can get obsessive. You don't realize how dysfunctional your relationship is. The relationship isn't bad all the time. Your partner is also codependent and has trouble letting go. Helping in self-sacrificing or socially acceptable, and shame makes it hard to ask for help. Yeah, that's pretty deep. Okay. Anybody got any thing they want to spin off of that? We good on that one? Guess we'll move to the next one.
I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
I have no idea.
The next one is, we good? 15 codependent personality traits and characteristics. The first one is feeling responsible for solving others' problems, offering advice even if it isn't asked for, poor communication regarding feelings, wants, and needs.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That one hit me. I do that shit sometimes. You know what I mean? I don't know if that puts me in the category. There's some of this shit that's like, hey, yo, man. I mean, sometimes it's too much information. It's just too much information. Like, they'll figure out a way to tie you
Difficulty adjusting to change, expecting others to do as you say. Difficulty making decisions, chronic anger, feeling used or unappreciated, people pleasing, to be liked or loved, lack of trust in self or others, feeling rejected or being unlovable, feeling like a victim, taking everything personally, lying to yourself and making excuse for others, bad behaviors, and general sense of helplessness, anxiety, or depression.
I need to print this for somebody. I ain't gonna say.
That's a lot of information.
Somebody need that on a post on their wall.
That's heavy. I don't know where to start on that.
I mean, I know for sure. I difficulty making decisions. I'd be like, yep, whatever. And
What you want to eat?
Dinner. Oh my goodness, I can't. Hey, yo, I said you ain't
Guilty. Where we eating at? I don't know why you called me. I don't know
That is
what
the
you
worst
called.
thing about marriage to me. Like to me, like
What
that-
you call here for?
Yeah,
You
like,
mean you didn't have that plan for you
it's one
called
of
this
those
number?
things. I can't.
You dirty
listen,
ass.
I call somebody every day like, what you eating?
I had a full damn near on the phone just a few days ago. Like, man,
We had it stare down. It's
I
like,
can't even stand myself though because it's like I'll ask you what you want to eat and like I get nowhere and I pick it. Then you ask me the same thing and I have no idea. So it's man.
I don't be knowing what I do. I know what the fuck I don't want.
that's what I'm saying.
I know the fuck I don't want that.
It's the worst when they go get something to eat. You know what I mean? Especially if they going out and then they grab you what you asked for. Then they grab.
They come something fire. They be like,
Come on.
Yeah, you like, wait a minute,
you
time.
could have brought me a little
I mean,
Like, why didn't you tell me you was going there?
right, you bastard.
It's a whole.
Let me get a little taste. Let me get a little. Let's
No, hell no. You got what you wanted.
Let's switch it off.
To me,
Dirty
that's
motherfucker.
the only, like,
That was the
outside.
beauty again of my marriage, boy. I tell you, we would be staring at a menu, and all once I'd be like, well, you get this, and I'm gonna get that, and then we'll split it, and we would share. You know what I'm saying? So that we could have this.
I mean, I think
That's compromise to a different.
Hell yeah, but that's what we would do. Like, well, you ordered this, and I'm gonna order that, and then we'll share it. So we'd be,
I think, like-
switching plates and stuff. Or we would order a few different things.
Yep, that's
And then
what.
can we get an extra plate, and then
Right.
you know what I mean? So now all taste buds are
Everybody
satisfied.
got-
So that's kind of
That's
what
smart.
happened yesterday. I love being a part of my family, my sister and them. They dope and motherfucker. Except for the days where she hit me at like 2 and be like, "Well, I want something good to eat," and it'd be 7, and I still be sitting there like,
Well, what the fuck is we about to do?
"What's what is be eating?" But yesterday she had called and was like, "Oh, well, we going to Smoky Bones." I said, "Oh, it's already planned."
You dirty motherfuckers ain't even saying nothing.
I said, "It's already planned." Well, I didn't have no car, so my niece,
Neither.
my niece had to actually come and get me, and I'm so
Me either.
thankful she came and got me. And like but when they ordered, I was like, well, damn,
Smoking on?
yeah, they have buy one get one free wings on Mondays.
Mm-hmm. Let them wheels turn, Corey.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they was
mental
ordering all
note.
types of wings. I seen like 85 different types of wings on the table, and they just all sharing and shit. I was like, this is so nice.
That's why there's not gonna eat with my sister and them. Because like I said, one of them order a whole bunch of shit, and everybody has to.
I think
Yeah.
Let me get a
that's the
little
way
bit
to
of-
do it. Everybody, man, I don't know if we would survive that way.
They're eating off them
Take
corporate
us.
credit cards. I love when my sister call like, we going to eat. Yes!
Yeah, that's how I feel. I be trying to slink my money on the table. She be like,
I'll leave some tip, you know.
Yeah,
I already
leave a
know-
little tip.
I already
Leave a
know
little
they
tip.
got the swipe that credit business card, like, yeah.
I like when they kind of, because they're good for it too. They're good for like already having a plan down pat. Like, this is where we're going. Oh, I ain't got to decide. Oh, cool.
I hate
You think that's one of the things from? You think that's a problem?
Well, for me, I feel
I mean, like that. Did that add to? You know what I mean? Does that a stem from being codependent or?
I
that's
feel like in some instances it did, because again, it's like I don't want to make the decision and I don't want to be controlling and it be the wrong decision and be the wrong type of control.
I don't want to decide your budget. I'm gonna tell you dead up.
Shit.
I don't want to decide your budget.
Yeah. So
That's why I don't have an answer because
Yeah.
I want this, but that's what I want because that's what my budget, what's in my wallet.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know what's in your wallet, and I don't want to assume that this is there because I'm gonna go to the.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about like couples.
Even then,
Even
I
then.
still don't want to decide your budget.
What about our budget? It shouldn't be our.
It should be our budget,
I
but
don't
a
wanna
lot of
decide. And even then, in my relationship, you know, you let a man be a man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so for me, I'm not going to trample on that. I'm going to assume
So we have ordered.
you're handling this. So
Okay, all right.
I'm not, unless it's my idea, like, let's go do that.
I get it.
That's different.
Yeah.
Then I assume that it's on me, even if you be like, chill. You understand what I'm saying? If it's my idea, then I have every intention on treating. But out of any other circumstance, though, I'm going to assume that this is on that you're about to pull out Big Daddy wallet,
Right.
and
There you
I
go.
don't want to assume
Yeah.
what's in there, even if I know that this is in the. I don't know what that's designated to or why. You understand what you have planned or what you don't have planned.
Yeah.
So I don't want to decide your budget. Be that you as my man, you that as my homie, you that as my friend, you that as my
Right.
sister, you as my dad. I don't want to decide what that is. So I don't know. Well, I don't know what you have in mind. And if it's something I'm like, I have to figure it out because if that's what's on your heart,
Yeah.
I gotta ride with that because I could have said something and I didn't.
And that's why I
Right?
said I like when other people, like for instance, my sister, my brother, when they make that decision, because I know in that decision, if I go, first of all, if you're inviting me, that means I'm cool to go. And 9 times out of 10, I don't have to come out of my pocket. Like the most I'll have to come out of my pocket for is a tip.
Right.
So when they come, or if they're doing something at the house, it's like, well, bring what you can. I'm not gonna hold you back from nothing that we got here. Just come. Like some of it is just a come thing.
Oh, you just did the hand thing.
yeah, like,
you just did-
Wrist
yeah,
bro.
yeah. Around each other way too much.
Wrist
I'm
bro.
No, no, I
but like
think
just
it-
come.
no, I
Like
think
my sister with Thanksgiving, she was
Yeah.
like, we had an argument. We had a full blown argument because I'm like, yo, you're cooking everything. I don't feel like you should be responsible to buy everything, especially if people are coming to your house to eat.
That's dope.
Boy, you can't
So-
tell people that. I told my dad that bullshit.
So my thing was like, what do you want me to grab? Oh, I don't know. I don't want you spending all the. Come on, man. We gotta compromise somewhere. I gotta know. Like I don't feel that's fair for you. So
well, then you don't have to just start taking shit off her plate. Like, so I'm about a turkey.
So
I'm
what
about
we
a chicken, I'm about
so what we-
greens. I'm
so
about
what
a
we ended up
macaroni
doing
noodles.
is she met me. I was going to Sam's Club, so she was like, "All right, I'll meet you there." And I took everything out of her cart except for like the paper products, everything. Like she was like, "Well, that's too much. I'm not going." Chill, just chill. Like you do a lot. So, and I know anytime that
I think that's dope because we were talking about relationships, right, and codependent, right? Somebody who would let somebody do that, I think we're being too dependent on one side, right? And you just made a compromise, and then not compromise, you added value to the situation
Yeah.
to make it a balance, right? I think that's just a
because I know like
dope
anytime that I go to her crib, like I can honestly walk in her crib, especially if it's like food related or and literally just take it, and she'd be like if I ask, she'd be like, what did you ask him for? Like, if it's there, go ahead and get it.
Right.
Like, we could get more of that. There's some things that you can't get more of, like a relationship, like time, like those actual things of imprinting on somebody's spirit in their heart and letting them know like you're there for them, because a lot of people don't have that. So I feel like my family in some ways they're intentional of letting me know, at least, like, hey, I got you. When and how to get help with codependency issues. The right time to get help with codependency issues is when it's identified by one or both partners as an issue in the relationship. It can be challenging to talk about with your partner, so it's important to consider individual or couples therapy depending on what your issues are. So, and like I stated, definitely did individual therapy. I did a great deal with individual therapy. And that's where I learned that, like, throughout the relationship, I wasn't myself. Like, I didn't know who Sierra is. Like, I know who Sierra is as a wife. I know who Sierra is as a mom. But do I know who Sierra is as just being Sierra? Like, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies? Do you love yourself? Like, all those things. Like, I had to come to terms with all of those things.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's absolutely dope. But I think the best time to probably get help is before you need it, right? There's a way to combat it. Is there a way that we can teach our children not to be so codependent? So when they get into, because I think the way you do anything is the way you do everything. Like, it all stems from something. Is there a way to help be combative, or do you think there is?
I mean, I feel like always breathing life into our kids is a bit like, I would always tell, like, Little Wayne and Little Sierra, like, different things as far as, like, relationships are concerned. Right. And the one thing that I would tell them is, like, don't lose yourself. Like, you're still growing in, like, they're 23 and 19, so you're still growing into yourself. You don't really know who you are yet, even though you feel like you do at that age. You really don't. There's still a whole lot of life you haven't explored yet. So it's good to be in a relationship, but don't let that relationship take away from what you're trying to do for you.
I dig it. That's what I'm thinking now. It's like, how do I install some of that into, or how do I make the children, like, how do I install some of that knowledge into the youth?
You gotta keep it a being with your kids.
You do.
100% of the time. I keep 1,000. I don't create clever scenarios and lies and fairy tales for my kids. And my mom hates that. She feels like I'm too honest with them. But I keep it a being. My oldest, my now oldest two, I don't foresee an issue of codependency with them per se. Like, my daughter, when it comes to friendships, she's a little more lenient than I wish she was. Like, I wish she.
That's what I'm seeing with mine. That's what I'm.
You know what I mean? She'll definitely. She used to, not so much anymore, because I fussed at her one good time, and I'm like, when are you going to see that this doesn't serve you the same way it serves? I mean, you can't allow people that don't got shit to lose to be dragging you down. And that was a tough lesson for me to learn as a kid too, though.
It really
my mom would constantly try to, tell me who my friends wasn't, and I'm like, you can't say. My mom was like, yes, I can. Like, that's not your friend. Okay, you decide to make a better choice and see how friendly you are tomorrow. Mm-hmm. As long as you're failing and you're doing dumb shit, y'all gonna be friends. But the minute you decide to make better choices, them aren't going to be your friends anymore.
Or when you get out a certain circumference or zone that they're in.
So
like
by the time I got to Woodland Hills, my focus point was different. So all my old friends
wasn't your friends no more.
Hell no, especially when the hoes gonna carry up $3 for gas. Like, bitch, you ain't got we can't.
You were driving.
Between the 17 of us,
you were driving.
We can't get $3 on the house cushion.
It goes right back.
As a collective, baby, you can't. No,
that's why I like, man. I just
the ones that we could get the couch change. We was gone.
Yeah, for sure.
We was gone.
My thing
the ones that couldn't
is
holler.
I think, like I said, the dynamic too with family, like, to be honest, like my family really never really wanted for nothing. My grandfather owned his own business.
Right.
So there was that. So it's like, and I feel like sometimes that brings a sense of codependency too. When people know that you got it,
Right.
like I could lean on this person to have it too. Like,
Right.
this motherfucker got it. So, like I was rocking with her for a while because she had the car and I had the money. Like the fuck, like $3.
That's what I said. We was riding forever on $3.
The dream work.
Like $3.
We was riding forever.
You're both for bringing value.
But my thing was,
you got the gas money. We got to play.
Gone.
my thing was,
we just got to have it.
We was in the wind.
she had, but my mom was like, I don't know what was going on with my mom. I'm gonna have a conversation with her because there was just something she wasn't with me having a car. Like, you'll give me all the tools to get around, but you won't get me no car. And then she had this thing with boyfriends. Like, she did not want me to have no boyfriend. Like, girl, what is your reason?
You think it's the
She wanted you to focus on them books.
You think that transferred down?
No, because with my daughter, it was like I never really. I'm not gonna say I didn't care because to be honest, I had a boyfriend since 6th grade. Like, so you saying that at this older age, it's like, oh, mom, I already had like 3 of them. Like, what is your point in it? So with my kid, I explained to them young, like, hey, if you gonna do this, make sure you do this because we don't want none of this. Okay. And that was my mom's main focus. As I got older, I was like, oh, you didn't want me to have a boyfriend because you didn't want me out here having sex, and you didn't want me to have kids because you had my brother at 18, and you think I was, so it all kind of, but I had Wayne at 19, and I still kind of made it through whatever needed to be made through.
My mom couldn't have had this conversation with me because I'd be able to throw her in her face real quick. Like, wait a minute. Now. No. My mom, straight A student, summa cum laude, graduate, Carnegie Mellon graduate. First of all, by no stretch of your imagination, I'm about to paint a picture. My mom was loose because she wasn't. I think my dad was my mom, like first, last, everything at this point. And if she had a guy before my dad, it ended with my dad. So it wasn't a whole bunch of them niggas, I'll tell you that. She didn't have time. Right. Cheerleader, debate club, the club, straight A's, right? Yeah. But my dad was an adult. My mom was in high school. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So pathology-wise, when I was 14, my boyfriend was 18. Right. You understand what I'm saying? With a car, picking me up from school every day. You understand? And we were together until my senior year in high school. Right. We were together until thank you, Jen. She ruined that relationship. Who? Sierra, best friend, ruined my relationship.
First of all, that's not my best friend. I keep telling you about this shit. I keep telling you.
Sierra's best friend.
It ain't my goddamn best friend. Let's get the record straight. I don't have any best friends. You're either an associate or your family. There is no best friend until I get another man.
Sierra's
and that will be
friend.
My best friend.
Sierra's best friend.
You running that, boy.
Spilling tea. No, but thank her for spilling the tea because I generally had no idea. So I'm not mad at her for doing it. She did the right thing. So when I say when somebody bring you information, be careful how you bring it.
It was messy.
It
was messy.
I don't think it was messy. I think that she did what was necessary. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I was dating a guy who had a baby mama and some kids, and I didn't even fucking know.
Okay. Yeah.
I had no clue.
Yeah. I think
and she was real casual with how she brought it to me, too. Like, what do you think about so-and-so? And I'm like, ooh. I never heard that. I ain't never heard that before. And when I took it to him, he was like, well, I don't know nobody by that name. You do. It took a while. But when the lie dust settled, I was done. Because, like, if you lie about that, like,
you'll lie about anything, you lie about that.
Yes.
Like, to me. So, but that was how that was. Like, I was 14, my boyfriend was 18, and then when my senior, then we broke up. Now, granted, that relationship with MP,
wait till this
he wasn't with it.
How old this woman
was. He went with the goodbyes.
Y'all about ready?
Yeah, we about to be out. So we went over codependency and what it means to you. Again, if any of this resonates with you, you could definitely tap in. We have 2 shows left for the season. Ooh, bringing it in. Last 2 shows are long distance
and
relationship and toxic. So we definitely hope you tune in for those. If you would like to be a panelist, please reach out to us through the Social Flex inbox or Carlisa Turner's inbox or myself, Sierra Tompkins. We are definitely looking for panelists. I know it is towards the end of the year, end of the season. I know we got a lot going on, but having a candid conversation is kind of refreshing. So, if anyone wants to join us, please feel free to do so.
Please do. We like it when other people are in here besides just us and Corey. Not that we don't love Mr. Corey, because we do. But we need other opinions and points of view.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't have too much going on. No.
We winding it down. We winding it out. Our website is live, so that's www.thesocialflex.com. Our beacon links are live, so that's beaconsai.the.social.flex.com. So if you just want to know where you can find all the links at once, you're gonna probably hit our beacons. You can all, like I said, hit us on YouTube, hit us on Facebook, on our business page. Please follow the business page. Also, follow the group. If you don't already follow the group. We are planning our next live event, which is going to be probably the last weekend in February. I think it's more what we're leaning towards, just closing off February with the foolishness.
Made me feel all tingly inside.
And then we got some other things that we are also planning, like some social gatherings that we want to put together, and we'll do some collabs with some other people to make those fun. But I think that's it for
If you do have a business and you would like to showcase your business, you can definitely contact us for etiquette series. We would love to come to your establishment, see if you don't mind speaking of the inner workings and things that you like and things you don't like. We definitely are here for that as well. The 27th. We'll be at the Nobleman Cigar Lounge speaking on
Motivational
podcasts
Mondays.
for Motivational Mondays. So make sure you tap into that, and you might get some information on if you want to start your own podcast, how to do so. Always, if you're looking for some studio space, come check my man Corey out, 1028 Podcast Studio.
Appreciate you.
1028 North Canal Street, Sharpsburg. I don't know the zip code, but come check him out. We'll hook you up.
Okay.
We tag him in all our social media stuff, so you can reach him that way as well.
That's it, y'all.
Happy holidays, y'all. What I do want to say, also in closing out, is holiday seasons can be a little bit tough for all of us. So just make sure you're checking on your people. Make sure you could try to adjust where their heads at, because even if they're smiling, they might not be smiling inside. And I know holidays bring that out for a lot of people. So just make sure you check on your people, see where their headspace is at. And always at the Social Flex, we like to remind y'all to be blessed and a blessing.